And exhaling out. Always remembering the breath here, my friends. Very important to continue intentional breathing as it brings us back to truth, to who we are, to who we've always been. It brings us back into our bodies. Yes, it does. And we begin to feel the pitter patter, possibly, of our hearts. You can feel that heartbeat. You can notice how your limbs feel or not feel. Maybe how your eyeballs feel, if they feel tired or strained or very alert. See, the breath brings us back to this moment. It does. And we are reminded, as I said, of who we are, and why we are on a cellular level, yes. And so with that, a reminder right now, my friends, that who we are is that we are made in a spirit and an essence that is holy. For some of you, that may be better stated as the essence of a highest love, of a pure love. And the why we are is simple. It's very simple, and it is to serve. It has always been to serve. It has always been to be of service. And the revolution of love, my friends, is a vehicle for connecting with the who and the why. The who, that we are made in God's holy image, imago Dei, or like I said, the image of a pure love that is unfettered, that nothing and no one can take away from you. And it is also that vehicle to center now the charge we all have to be of service and to create change in the world. Yes, and tonight I want this to be exciting. I want this to be an exciting moment for us where we realize, yes, we are change makers and change agents. That from your place of residence, from where you are seated, that there is some reason why you are here, where you are meant to create change. And we do this together. Yes. The who and the why are that simple. We are made in this ineffable force, this something that is so beyond thoughts and words. It's just holy. Oh, and friends, I know there's some people here that have been hurting. I know there's some people here right now that their soul is struggling. And I want you to hear these words. I want this to comfort you, that you may reconnect, yes, reconnect that which you truly are, that you are made in this holy image. Don't lose sight of this moment. This could be God speaking to you. This could be love calling to you. This why we are here. To create change in the world, to bring a potent, powerful shift towards justice, bending the arc towards justice. Yes, we do this. We serve, and we do it gladly here at the Revolution of Love. Oh, and sometimes it's much easier to do that. It's much easier to do that when you are solidified in knowing who you are. Yeah, when you know with a certainty who you are, there's something interesting that happens. You begin to feel effervescent. You begin to build a spiritual container. You begin to lift up and have more of an emotional bearings. And so that's why we're here at these Sunday nights. It's part of it is to offer you blessings of healing so that you can remember who you are. I said it's simple, but it's hard in the sense it's easy to forget. So that's why we need reminders along the way. We need community. We need services to have folks say, hey, we see you, we hear you, we love you. We know who you are, and we give thanks. We've been waiting for you. Yes, ashe, ashe. I do want to talk more about the why, because this wasn't the talk I was going to give. Sermon that I have planned out is all about service and change making and creating change. But I felt something stir and I had to follow that through. And that's always the rub, actually. Let me be even more transparent and say this, that over the years of getting to, and I notice I said getting to do this work, which is an honor. Yes. Over the years of this journey, it's always important to meet people where they're at. And some of you, like I said, I know that there is struggle and I know that there is pain. And then others of you, you might be finding yourself kind of sitting pretty right now. You know, things are all right. You know, it could be better. You know, a year into the pandemic, and so we noticed that all of us might be in very different places, in different ways, in different stages of our lives, due to perhaps your own identities that you carry and that you hold. You might be having a very specific life experience than someone over here that's having a vastly different experience in their lives. And so to honor that right now, let us do that. Let us honor all of the complexities and all of the many truths that we get to have as human beings on this spiritual journey. And what I said to you before, I meant to remember who you are, to connect and to reconnect and to have it solidified in your soul, in your body. This, I am made in the image of that which is holy. I am made in the image of pure love. And to breathe that in and let it sink all the way down to your toes. Yes. Allow that to ground you. And now I'm going to ask you this. And this is what I've been thinking on all day. I want us to go somewhere that we have not gone before. And I've said this before. To go somewhere beyond our usual vision, to go beyond the season that we normally live in, to go beyond what is reasonable. I'll explain. To really be charged up and challenged to take on uncomfortable thoughts, to take on radical thinking. I should say it like this: radical thinking that makes us uncomfortable. Now, why do I charge us and challenge us to go beyond where we normally reside and where we normally live, and to be uncomfortable or maybe even agitated? Why? Because we must create positive change in this world. We must be of service, and we must create positive change in this world. Let's take 3 examples. To go, Trevor said this in our prayer tonight, to go beyond thinking that war, to go beyond the thought of war, to go beyond policing, to go beyond prison, the prison industrial complex, to see past these structures. Oh, feel this, come on now. To feel, to see past structures and systems that have been put in place, albeit for hundreds of years. We have lived with the military. We live with this idea of just war, of this is just how it is. We live with these thoughts of, there's nothing else we can do. This is how life has always been. We need the police to keep us safe, or we need the military to keep us safe, or we need prisons to keep bad people away from us. These are the thoughts, and these are only 3 examples. Like I said, we could keep going from there and ping-ponging off of other systems and structures that are violent and oppressive. And what I want us to all do tonight is to get so jarred up. And some of you, this is like, yeah, I don't believe that anyway. I've been working towards it for a long time, most of my life. Great. But some of us, some folks are still in these operating systems. It's the Matrix. Remember the Matrix movie? Still in the Matrix and living from this place of degradation where it doesn't keep us safe when we really think about it. And so the revolution of love challenges us to think of alternative forms of peacemaking and peacekeeping, and alternative forms of rehabilitation. Yes, I'm not locking people up and throwing away the key, but going, wow, what if we could rehabilitate? What if we don't see people as demonize them and other them? What then for our world? What then for our society and our culture? And alternative forms of safety for communities that are marginalized, for Black and brown folks that are under threat and attack. Imagine a world without those things, and not just taking away, but putting in. What would we bring in? What are those forms of peacemaking and peacekeeping that are truly revolutionary? See, even the best of us, I think, because of how we've been raised, because of all of the forms of socialization, we are kind of hooked in to these systems, and we got to come out. So tonight, I ask you, are you willing to come out? How far are you willing to go? Deliver us from unconsciousness is the name, or was the name of this talk. I believe that it's these systems and these structures of violence, as well as the pain that we have experienced on an individual level, that cause us to go unconscious, that cause us to go to sleep, that cause us to be unaware, and that cause us to think that things that are happening are normal, and we then legitimize We validate. We think, oh, well, this is how it's been. It's how it's always going to be. The eye for an eye mentality. The us versus them thinking. Yeah, I want us to be so excited tonight and so ignited and so invited that we are just can hardly wait to think of new ways that we are going to create change. It's like from your place, we're all around the country. So we are beginning to seed into an idea, my friends. And this is what came up. This is what I was intimating on Facebook. Get ready for it. That there are things that we're percolating on. And we want to charge you up. So that way from Brooklyn, DeCoster, or Trevor in New Mexico, or Evie in Nevada, however, that you are, and those are just a few people, I'm sorry I didn't list everybody here, but that you are even from a place of awareness that there is something that you bring in to create. Because all of us can do something, and all of us must do something. And it doesn't have to be correction, it can be anything. But we have to do something. I'm going to back up a moment now. This is just, I have to flush this out just a bit more. This is very important. If we create from a place of unconsciousness, we're going to keep getting what we're getting. So that calls for us to be very solidified, to be in high heart love, to be in high consciousness. This is part of why we do Sunday nights. As Manny said in our pray up, we keep coming. We're grinding these out. We're grinding these out because we believe in raising our consciousness. We believe in creating these healing environments and this healing community. Look, if we're going to create, we cannot create from a place of degradation, from antiquated systems, from archaic ways. No. No, we have to believe, first off, that we can do this. Yes. I want to take us back to Israel, Palestine, when I was there, 2009 or 8, I don't know. And I've sold this story and I'm going to tell it again because it changed my life. And I was there on a peace delegation with Code Pink. And we had met in East Jerusalem with Jeff Halper, who was then the executive director of Israeli Committees Against House Demolitions, ICAD. You can look it up. And we were feeling really hopeless about the situation in Israel, Palestine. We're just like, this has just always been like this here. There's always been violence. There's always been war between the Israelis and the Palestinians. And he said, first, we have to believe that it can change. First, we have to believe. Yes. Feel that. First, we have to believe. We have to go beyond, as I sort of said before, beyond reason, into a different season, that we have a new vision. Let's do it again. We have to go beyond reason into a different season, that we have a new vision. Yes, that is the way of the revolution of love. So in the coming week, this is what we can do. This is what I want all of us to do. To notice where your unconsciousness tries to get the best of you, and just kind of knock you off the path of believing. And you'll see that because if you begin to believe in these old ways of thinking, of being, of these systems and these structures, notice when you do that and right your ship. Come out of it right away. And if you notice that you doubt, notice that too. Notice that too. If you notice yourself legitimizing or validating any form of violence, and Manny, you might want to put up that violence definition, actually. Yeah, if you could, when you can. Any time that you legitimize a form of violence, catch yourself. Notice it. Watching the news. Really think about all the times now we have another shooting. Don't normalize this stuff, my friends. Don't. It's hard because then we feel and we might get angry. You might cry. You might get afraid. So be it. We're not robots. And if it gets to be too much, then you reach out to us. You reach out to somebody here. Reach out to me. Reach out to Manny. Somebody. Trevor. I'm sorry, I'm volunteering people now. But stay in community. Stay in community. I want to talk about one more thing that Judy was bringing up the wingeds. And as I was thinking about this talk tonight, I was walking my dog right outside here earlier today. And I was really in my head about, what do I say? Do I say they should meditate, so they can slow their brains down, so they can notice the violence and come out of unconsciousness and become more conscious? And that definitely works, by the way, meditation and spiritual practice. And hey, we've got a spiritual toolkit in the Facebook group. You can look at the 33 things that are listed. But then something really interesting happened. And it was a winged. I thought that was interesting, Judy, that you read that for us tonight. And this winged was going, caw, caw. And I'm walking and I'm just, again, just really in my head thinking, I wonder, okay, which angle should I come that'll really elucidate these points to them? Caw, caw. I'm like, ah. And I think, see, it's the noticing. It's the being in the moment. It's the feeling every breath. It's the taking of every step. It's just that simple awareness. And the more we do that, the more we're going to come back into who we are. As I said at the top of this thing, remembering who we are and that you were made in that image of God, in that image of pure love, and that why we are, and that we are here simply to be of service. And yes, in that to change the world in a positive way. And when all else fails, in order to lift up that consciousness, to push away that veil of unconsciousness, you listen. You listen. You don't miss out on those birds, on the wingeds that are blessings trying to get your attention. You don't miss out on maybe the stranger behind the mask that holds the door open for you. You don't miss out on a loving connection, maybe right here, right now at this service. You don't miss out on anything that might seem so infinitesimal, so small. You cherish it. You take every part of this delicious life and you avail yourself to it. These are the beginning inklings of what it is going to take us to create a revolution of love. We first have to believe, and that means raising our consciousness. And from there, we'll talk more about creating next time. God bless you. This is the revolution of love, and this is our revolution of love. Prayers and blessings. Okay. Yes. Yes. Okay, now we come into a place of quietude and stillness. And I'm going to invite you to put the prayer requests in the chat. I will look at them in a moment. And as you sit here right now, recognize that we're not sitting on some Zoom call or some Zoom meeting. No, we are sitting in sacred